Let's kick it off with our dynamic duo, Colin and Justin!
Yes, Tracy. Pattern is absolutely everything for us, Tracy.
Listen, if anyone is going to do pattern, I feel like you two are the ones to do it. Am I right?
You are absolutely right, Tracy. Pattern is everything, but today is less about camouflage by completely suffocating your space and more about playing background and foreground at the one time.
Absolutely, and actually just looking at your outfit, Ms. Moore,
Thank you.
You can see that you actually have the lesson in pattern that less is more because you've got really bold boots on, but a plain top, and the balance is perfect.
I was trying to just use your lesson.
You were getting into mode.
See, I was getting into it for you.
Excellent.
This space, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I want to live here. It is beautiful, and I am immediately attracted to this gorgeous wall. I don't know, is it wallpaper? Is it a mural? Whatever it is, it's stunning.
It's a mural. So this is by our lovely friends at About Murals. And, you know, we figured if we're going to do a piece about how to use pattern in the home, we should start with a really bold pattern on the wall, OK?
Yes.
But this is a bold pattern with a difference. This is a mandala. So it's actually a symbol of meditation, relaxation. You know, and I think the problem with patterns in the past, they were too clashy. There was too much going on.
Yeah.
Let's learn how to bring in patterns and actually make them low-key and welcoming.
Yes.
And I think that does a really good job. The fact that it's one giant print as well, it's not thousands of repeats, I think makes a big difference. It's easier on the eye and therefore easier on the room.
It feels very
It does, doesn't it? And do you know why that
it
is?
grounds you, it's relaxing.
The reason for that is because there aren't a million colours fighting in there for attention. It's all a really sympathetic and really soothing colour scheme. So although there's a big statement, it's kind of whispered at the same time.
So you see this and you think, okay, obviously we're doing a lesson on pattern, and then you go down to the sofa and it's like, how is this pattern? I think it works beautifully, but why does it work?
OK, I'll tell you how it works. So in the 70s, there was too much pattern fighting. In the 80s, there were too many patterns, too many finishes, and it was just a lot of noise, visually speaking. To get pattern to work properly, Tracy, you have to work in a much lower key element. And this is all about contrast. So it's background and foreground. So a neutral sofa like this from our friends at Castle Life here in Toronto, available all across Canada.
Good.
Now, I know a lot of people get neurotic about white fabric because you're thinking chocolate bar, red wine, you're thinking takeaway food. These covers are made of a stain-repellent fabric, and what's more, they can be whipped off, whipped in the machine, and they'll come out good as new. But interestingly, so we've talked about the fact that the sofa is really neutral, Tracy. We've added patterns, not just what you see, it's also what you touch. And if you run your fingers along that lovely soft edge of the cushion,
so nice.
That's a pattern. That's a textural pattern. And that's, you can see more of that down here. I love the fact that we're playing with the relief of this, the pattern of that, the pattern of this, and you've not overwhelmed. It's super, super balanced.
It's beautiful, and it's definitely an exercise in restraint.
It is.
Yes.
Less is more, Tracy Moore.
Less is more. That's what makes it work.
For sure.
So the rugs are gorgeous. So is the lighting. What do you want to hit, Colin?
You know, let's talk about the lighting, because lighting can make or break a scheme, you know, and it's still a mystery to us. We like to get out there, and anytime we're driving around, I'm always kind of knobbing in people's windows, having a good old look around and stuff.
So it's you.
It is me.
Close your curtains, Tracy.
Hello,
Close and cover
Canada.
up.
I am that face at the window.
I've noticed. I mean, I wasn't mad at you, but I'm like, who is that guy?
Hi. Yeah, I know people still just have this single light in the centre.
Yeah.
You know, when the rooms are too bright, there's no idea about ambience. You know, so actually get some shades in there, people. You know, you want to look beautiful and glowy. But what does this have to do with pattern? Texture is a pattern, you know, so if that was a different colour on there, it would look super patterned, super busy. But because it's all colour blocked as one, it's muted and it recedes into the background, you know. And then when you actually stand back and look from the other side of the room, you can see the texture on that lamp base, and it's super rewarding, you know, and it's about the good feels in your house as well these days.
They're so generous and curvy. I love them.
Rugs, Tracy, what about them?
They're so beautiful. I like the fact that you layered them.
We did. We layered them for visual relief and textural relief again. Now, do you remember, well, obviously you're very, very young, so you won't remember the 1960s and that toy called the Spirograph.
60s? What's that?
We learned about that in television history, right?
Totally
We didn't live it. We didn't live it. So the Spirograph was a little device that kids used, and it drew circles that interlaid across each other. It was a really beautiful thing. These rugs kind of take their design inspiration from all of that. And again, there's pattern down there. You're looking at pattern. You can feel the pattern. You go from your lovely smooth sofa, your bum's on that. You can get your fingers in there. It's a touchy-feely feast for the fingers. And that, for me, is super important. And you can change those around. And the good thing about having rugs in this kind of configuration is it fills a corner really well, or it fills an awkward shape where a square rug or a rectangular rug might be an issue.
Yeah.
The amorphic nature of that allows you to balance it and play around with it and make it fit your space.
It's a little bit more organic. I love that.
It is.
It
It's
is.
much more
As
organic.
is the chair. Like, that looks so, like, boucle, nubby. It looks like it feels
Say
good.
nubby again, Tracy.
Nubby, nubby,
I
nubby.
love that
It
word.
is
Nubby.
It's good texture.
Isn't it? It's great. You know, if you have a chair like this, you never need to dry your bottom on a towel again. You know?
What?
You just
Please don't
get like
do that.
First up, I'm not sitting in a wet chair with a wet bottom.
You know, exactly. Texture is a pattern, you know, and it is about balancing the plain with the patterns. You know, that's what this whole lesson is about. So if you have really, really patterned rugs, put something plain on them so that there's somewhere for the eye to go.
Yes.
And what it does is it actually makes the patterns pop, because they're not lost in a sea of pattern. They're given some breathing space, you know. So you might be scared of the white elements. Look upon them as being a canvas of which you use to paint your patterns on.
And then
What
finally,
a beautiful
tree trunks.
lesson.
Let me just
Yes,
take this
yes,
apart for
yes.
you.
We're just going to get a little bit of nature in there
a
with
little
the
bit
tree
of nature.
trunks.
If you think about a tree being chopped in half, you see the rings inside. Again, there's
Yeah.
another perfect observation of pattern
Yes.
played out on these lime-washed side stills. Again, it's such a calm look.
They're beautiful. Thank you for
Gorgeous.
the lesson, guys.
Our pleasure.
Beautiful. You know, coming up is the National Home Show, and I am going to be there. We're actually going to do a whole Cityline day on Saturday, March 9th, with a roster of our experts. It's going to be a lot of fun. The show runs from March 8th to 10th and 13th to 17th at the Enercare Center. You save $5 off your ticket with the promo code Cityline. Find out more on our website. Oh, yes, and I have something for the audience today. You're all going to take home a pair of tickets to the show. Go ahead and enjoy it.